Right, you might notice these upside down kind of heart-shaped leaves. Throughout the year they develop purple flowers. This is called pickerel weed, like pickle with an R in the middle. Pickerel weed. Then out there on the left we've got that thick growing plant with those little brown tassels on top. That one's called smartweed. Smartweed and pickerel weed have the same really important job in the park. They grow in large quantities in really small spaces, so these plants actually hold all the sand together. They're holding the shoreline in place. So the island on the left is completely made up of plants that have washed up against these trees, collected that sand, and then created that structure over time. That's a much better view of a yellow-crowned night heron. On the right, I'm going to back up for him. He's right at eye level and a bit closer to us this time. So now you'll see that the name makes a little more sense. Yellow-crowned, they have bright yellow head feathers. Night herons, they prefer fishing at night. This is late in their season. They normally come in here in the spring and summer to nest. And then at the end of fall, they start leaving. These adults might still be here because that little one we saw wasn't ready to make a long, chilly trip yet. But they are typically a migratory species. And also out here on the right, we've got that really tall, dark green cylindrical stuff here. This is called bulrush. Bulrush. And if you've looked up into the trees lately, you've probably noticed that long, stringy, gray plant life growing on all the branches. That one's called Spanish moss, but it's a misnomer. It's not Spanish and it's not moss. This is in a plant family called the bromeliad. That means if you put it on a sliding scale, it's halfway between an orchid and a pineapple. It's pretty interesting. But if you're a southern kid or a local kid like I am, at some point you've probably made the mistake that I have of trying to play with the Spanish moss. You would have learned that more often than not, it contains hundreds of a tiny insect called redbugs. Redbugs are incredibly irritating to the skin. It feels as if they're trying to burrow under the first layer. But the Native Americans here had to learn how to take care of this before it became a serious problem. They used to light really smoky fires. They'd let the smoke push the insects out of this plant. Once it was bug-free, they'd use it to pad their mattresses for bedding. They'd use it to stuff their clothing in the wintertime for warmth. They'd use it as a portable fire tinder, which is a necessity in a wetland like this. But the reason it became known as Spanish moss is a slightly different story. When the Spanish first came here, they took a look around. They saw the natives using this as bedding. They decided to copy them. No one told them the trick about the fire first. That's the story don't let the bed bugs bite. Lots of Spanish diary inserts about all the bugs in their armor. That squeaking sound is a swamp chicken. It's kind of yelling at us. If you want to understand their mannerisms, you might have noticed we've got more swamp chickens here on the right. Oh, and another pie-billed grebe as well. But the swamp chickens, you'll see that red goes all the way up over their forehead. If you'd like to understand their attitude, imagine a rooster with an armored plated forehead. They are they think they're the toughest bird on the river. They'll fluff up their feathers, they'll stick out their wings, and they'll make attempts to run off alligators. The success of that depends more on the reptile than the bird. But speaking of alligator, we've got one on the left. If you look closely in the plants, you see just the top of her head there. I don't know how much better of a view that we'll get today. If you were looking for a picture, this is probably a good one. Oh, she's moving. Just a little. Oh my god! Thank you! Otters! Yes! Okay. Don't scream too much. Point them out all the way back against the riverbank. There are like 3 otters playing on the shoreline. They're fighting. They're tussling. Hi guys. I've been here 4 years now. I have seen otters 4 times. I love seeing them on the boat tours. Are they still up there? No! Shucks. So as far as rare animals to see on the boat tour, we have otters, we have white-tailed deer, we have bears, we have bobcats, but all of those animals tend to hear the boats coming, so they take off pretty quick. Whereas you get the occasional otter wrestling match, and they're like, boat? What boat? And they get a bit distracted. So otters are like very, very energetic puppies out here on the rivers, and the alligators are cats. They find a bright sunny spot to sit in and they stay there all day. So But moving right along, that is an excellent start to the morning. You should count yourself incredibly lucky. I'm excited, there's adrenaline. But I want to hang out here for a minute because I said she to that alligator back there because there has been an active nesting area right around here for about 2 years now. So it's pretty likely that that was Mama Stump's. But I'm not seeing any of her little ones today. This is worth a try. It's cold.